Who likes coffee? Most of you, right? And if you don't like coffee, you'll like the contest anyways because you don't need to have coffee as the love like I do. Like I'm on my probably sixth cup of coffee this morning. But I'm going to announce the contest in a few minutes. But before we do, let's just have some fun. Getting this meeting started like we always do, and share who's got some wins. Who wants to share something awesome that's happened to them this week with the StreetText lead? I know some of you have one. Or just new strategy you're implementing, anything, just whatever's top of mind for you right now. Jackie, go ahead.
Um, I did a one-on-one call with Ira, and he we were looking at my ad and just kind of going over some things. And I told him, Guy, Ira, I just feel like I'm right on the edge, of things breaking open. And as soon as we hung up, I kid you not, my phone rang, and it was a StreetText lead that said, "Come list my house and help us buy another." And I went, okay. Like, it was such a shock to have somebody just call you out of the blue and say, well, not out of the blue, because I have been keeping up with them, but to have somebody actually call you and say, hey, come list our house. That was awesome.
Love it. So, tell us some more. Like, how was it an older lead? Was it a brand new lead? What type of lead?
No, it was an older lead. I put him into HomeBot, gave him a home evaluation, uh, almost like 2 months ago, just kind of, hey, want to make sure that you got it, introducing myself with a bomb video. Um, and then really didn't hear anything from them. And just all of a sudden, he called and said, can you come and meet us and list our house? And I said, will you be moving within the area? Are you planning on moving out of state? And he said, no, within the area. And we already have a couple of houses that we have picked out, and we want you to help us figure out which one we want to buy. And I was like, how simple could that be? I mean, like, that's just
Slam
like
dunk. Slam dunk.
there.
So let's rewind a little bit. So someone asked, what's the ad that you ran for that specific lead?
I did What's Your Home Worth?
Okay.
Um, and and it's really interesting because that's why I did the one-on-one with Ira, because um, we're not allowed per Texas Real Estate Commission to use the word value when it comes to pricing. And so I had an appraiser comment on my ad, which was doing fabulous. I just did signs. My picture of on my ad is just town signs with the names on it. And it was going crazy with comments and everything else. And it was off that ad that this contact came through
Where are you located, Jackie?
in Texas, in the Austin area.
Austin area. Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah. And so, what's your home really worth? She sends them a bomb video about the home value. How did you get present that home value?
The only thing I do is put them into HomeBot. Here in Texas, we're a non-disclosure state, so I have to go in there and manually look at it, get comps and everything, and manually put it into HomeBot and email it over. Um, and then uh, just it goes over with HomeBot, and then I don't know, a few days later, I just send a bomb video out. Hey, I just want to make sure that you received it. I want to introduce myself, and if you didn't receive it, let me know so I can resend it. I want to get you the information you asked for.
Love it. So soft, very very nonchalant, and but high value. And so when you present that information with the bomb video, do you just keep yourself front and center, or do you actually use the screen recording and present the information?
Nope, I just do a quick little, hey,
Great.
I want to make sure that you received your home value through HomeBot. Check your spam and your junk folder, because sometimes it might end up in there. Not that I'm trying to spam you or anything, but I want to make sure that you received the information you requested. Oh,
Love
by
it.
the way, I want to put in a face with the name. Hi, I'm Jackie, type of thing. That's all I do.
Someone asked if you would share one of those videos just for fun in the insider group.
I will.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
And do you make sure when you send that bomb video that how do you ensure it's being opened and watched? Do you
So I send it through my cute little app most of the time, which is, I do have a BombBomb account. So it has all of my, through API Nation, I have it hooked up to where it automatically syncs all my contacts in KV Core to BombBomb. So the minute they come in, they go from StreetText to KV Core to BombBomb, and I can send out a video with that information, and I see it in BombBomb. Hey, this person opened up your video.
love it? Tracking's so important, isn't it?
It is.
Can I
It
ask a
really
question on that,
is.
Marcus?
Yes.
For Jackie or for you or whoever can answer this. I'm using mine through Chime and I do have a BombBomb account. So are you saying if I sync all the contacts, even if I send the email from my Chime, which uses our Google account, which automatically has BombBomb embedded in it, then the website for BombBomb will tell us who opened it? Is that what I'm understanding you to say, Jackie?
Mine does not. So because I have KV Core and I have it hooked up through API Nation, it does not tell me when I send a video through KV Core, because I have BombBomb on there also. It does not tell me who opened it. Only if I send it with the BombBomb app from my phone.
So you're sending it from BombBomb directly is what you're doing, and then you can track.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. I've done
Automations.
it both ways, and it doesn't track it in my KV Core. It tells me, hey, somebody opened your email, but I have to be in that specific contact looking at their, all the different timeline on that specific contact to know that they opened it up. It doesn't send me a notification saying, hey, somebody opened it, which kind of sucks.
Yeah, and I'll show you what I like. What she's trying to show you guys here is if you look at my Gmail inbox, and it's different for everybody, but you want to make sure whatever you do send has the tracking, and that so for me, I use it from Gmail, so I can see every time I send something personally, it's going to show me who's opened it, who's watched it. It changes colors, who's clicked on it, and so forth. Who's commented.
Marcus, is it telling you who's doing it? Because I've got the same thing hooked up and I had a comment and I could never figure out who commented because they commented directly on the BombBomb video and I have no way of tracking it down.
Well, it's because that's when you're doing mass sends, right? So when you're doing a personal send.
No, this was sent directly to them, and they commented when they opened up BombBomb. They commented there. They didn't comment back from the email I sent them, so it didn't attach it to the email.
Yeah, I don't know. On here it does. It shows me. And one of the things I also do is I can see who's opening it, but then I also take that person's email if I'm trying to search for it, and I'll search, and it'll show me exactly what they've done with that email I've sent. So
show me how you do that.
Okay, well, at least on this one, if I wanted to go, there's a little search feature right here. So I'll just search.
I have the same tracking on my Gmail account. So
yeah,
show me how
so
you're using it.
Well, you just grab the email. So grab the email, put it in that search folder. So I don't know. I'll just grab anybody's email here, and I'll take and search for it, and that's where you search right in there, and then you do the search. So in this case, I didn't send her anything, but that's how you search for that particular email that you personally sent out.
So that's the one you sent from Gmail. You can track it there, and it'll actually show you if they've opened it and done that.
Yeah, and I believe it would do the same from BombBomb or Outlook or whatever. This is just an extension of Google Chrome that allowed me to change in my Gmail to leverage BombBomb from it.
Yeah, and it also works, just so you know, Brave also does the exact same thing. The Brave browser, you can put the same plug in there.
Cool. Yeah, yeah. So, and you know, the extension of Google Chrome for a lot of us is key anyways, because when you grab that extension, that's where you go copy for email to embed those videos in your StreetText automations. So that's how you get all those videos to send out. But again, the truth is, when you're sending out automated videos, maybe 50% is open. And when the StreetText automation is showing you it's open, it's just showing you open. It's not telling you who, or I mean, I guess you can go to records and see who's opened and what they've clicked on, but we don't know what they've clicked on. It could have been a bunch of things in that particular email that you have. So I always like to go in a little bit deeper, and you know, Jen Salter is really famous for that. She's really famous for doing whatever she can, even if it's sending a half a dozen times. That's why she gets 100% video plays. And so part of that is recognizing if you're going to be sending the same thing over and over again, even in your automations, you want to create the same video and emails as saved snippets or canned responses, or you know, this is the idea here. We all have messages we send over and over again. So when we go to compose something, even if it's the exact same intro that we're going to send to those leads, we'll go and create a snippet, and the snippets are those preloaded responses. So you're going to have them just like I have here, but what I would recommend is it's not exactly the same. Maybe you change one line. The first line being, hey, I often find when I first send this, it gets lost in a folder. Sometimes your spam or trash. You just want to resend this to make sure you got it. So you're basically resending the same message with your leads to begin the tracking component of this. And that in itself becomes a kind of a hack for you, especially because you need that first impression. First impressions is so important one, especially considering that's the experience you're creating, and that's the, you know, setting the tone for future correspondence. Because at the end of the day, they're all making an interpretive process based on what they thought that ad was and what they thought they were going to get when they clicked on it. So at the other side, that's the experience, that's the tone you're setting to help them identify why they're not getting that instant market value, or that, you know, whatever that was that they clicked on, that PDF, and instead what you're going to do for them. Does that make sense?
Can I ask a follow-up?
Yeah.
Of the team? And it seems like there's a mix of people in here using CMAs and using HomeBot. If you're doing a CMA, are you doing a multi-page or a single-page CMA? What is working the best for people within the group?
I do a video CMA.
What are you covering?
I just use HomeBot until I get more response out of these guys, get deeper into it. When I load them in HomeBot, I go across, I tweak HomeBot, I send it right away. And then part of my automation follow-up is asking if they got what I sent them. But one more metric that you can use for tracking is if you send it out of HomeBot, the automation the next day when you look at activity tells you if they opened it or not. It also tells you how many times they opened it and what all they looked at in there. So it's a great tool to use.
There's so many examples in the group. Like if you just go, one of the best things to do is head right into this group. We tag everything, is go to the topics in the group, click see all, and just look on some of the video examples right here. Video home evaluation examples. We try to post them, and there's a ton of posts, 35 posts specifically on video examples that can give you some ideas on CMAs. And so look in the topics group is a great one to start with when you're trying to go straight to like, hey, ideas on different CMA, because it's all about how you present it. And screen recording is the best way to present things, especially if you have multiple tabs open. That's the way of, because you can be going back and forth between yourself here and then to the screen recording. It's just learning how to use the button, and you can take yourself completely out and just be a voiceover, or and so forth, right? So it's just that's my favorite option, is just setting the tone, whether you're doing the Zillow, Trulia, Realtor, Movado, Redfin, highlighting different things, or you just stay off of that concept and really focus on recent market sales and comparables in the area, and what you'd like to do as a follow-up to focus on their home value.
Hey, Marcus, how many Las Vegas realtors does it take to change a light bulb?
Tell me.
Look at Wendy.
She's changing light bulbs right now? That's hilarious.
Hey, Marcus.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just want to point out what I use as a CMA because of the question that came up. I do use BombBomb, but I use the screen, okay? And what I do, I actually incorporate Google Earth in there. So when I go talk to them, when I do my video for them, I have Google Earth go right into their house, basically on top of their house. And then right away, I start switching into the CMA and I explain to them in the CMA what their house should be worth, what's sold, what's pending, what's active. So then I bring them to what their house is actually worth. But I started off with Google Earth.
I love that, Tony. Hey, would you share an example in the group for us?
Absolutely. Would love to see that.
Do I have one here?
You don't have to do it. You don't have to do it right now.
Yes.
But if you pull one up and let us know, I'll definitely give you the ability to share it.
Okay.
Just to give us some ideas and examples.
I'll pull it out from Google Earth, from BombBomb in a bit. Go ahead and I'll pull it out and I'll let you know as soon as I have it.
Okay, perfect. Yeah.
Marcus, do you want to share that new file that was uploaded to the files section inside a group about effective follow-up strategies for all the different ads? That might be helpful for some new people. And anyone?
So this is in the announcements section, and it's just giving you some ideas on what to do as that lead enters your funnel. You know, when we say funnel, it's your automations. How does that automation begin the conversation? How does that first email? How does it received? Is it effective? Is it your personality, or is it left to interpretation and feel spammy and or generic AI-ish? The idea when you're personalizing your emails and your text messages is that so no one could ever think it was something that they, was an automation. You want to make it feel so personal, and that includes the correspondence moving forward with your emails. You don't just rely on the first email and then generically let day 3 and so forth go out. So we have in the announcement section, if you go there, we have a download that you can look at for each particular popular ad that we have, including the home value ad, your listings, the 12 seller tips, and the buyer ads, and giving you some ideas there. Awesome. Any other questions off of that?
Marcus, where was that blurb you just shared on the website? I'm going to it right now while we're talking. I'm trying to find it.
In the announcement section. Always.
Announcements.
So yeah, and if someone wants to grab the announcement section web address, that would be the one I would bookmark all the time. Because obviously when we put announcements in there we go. Thanks, Linnea. When we put announcements in there, that's usually our most popular discussions at the moment or topics. So it's a good place to kind of, whenever you're visiting the StreetText Insider group to start. And then, if, in general, I would then also use the search feature for any topics that come to mind. So anytime you're like, I wonder what, I'd go straight to, home values, right? If I wanted to search for something and see the latest post, Jane. So here you can see like the most popular one right now is this one right here, and it's Jean Bart showing you how she does a CMA. So the search feature up here is a really good idea just to go and find popular discussions that have a lot of comments, but don't just watch them. With every one of these posts, always read through the comments. And one of my favorite things to do too and show people is testimonials are a great one. That's why it's our most popular when 82 posts. But where the fun begins is when you start reading the comments within the testimonials, because you get to learn from what got them to that win. So that's a big one in that topic section. Tony, were you trying to say something? All right. The hashtags are broken in Facebook right now, so just use the search function. Yeah.
Okay, Marcus, I'm saying I have my BombBomb open. Augustine, good morning. Listen, I just wanted to reach out to you as we're coming to the end of the pandemic, as you already know. And I wanted to go through some values with you, okay? Some values that will actually get us to what the value of your house is right at this minute, okay? Now, I know your house, so I'm not going to say that, hey, I should come over and see what it is. That's nothing like that, okay? But let's go through some values with you. Now, I'm going to go through these figures to show you what's being sold lately, and what's pending and what's active, okay? So let's go, first of all, with something that happened close to you, January 14th, on 9990 Villette. I'm sure you're aware of it. Listed at 859, sold at 836. I don't know why it sold at 836. Should have been much higher than that. Obviously, it wasn't marketed the right way, because it should have, that house should have sold for more, especially being a 6-7 house, 5,400 square foot home. Now, that's on January 14th. On January 12th, another one near you, 4-3, 2,900 square foot home, sold at 825. So it just doesn't make sense that the other one will be sold for less. Anyway, we'll explain that later. So pending, there's one pending here, if you follow my cursor, at 788. I know that house has multiple offers, and it's going to go over 800, 820, 830, around there. It's a 4-3, 3,300 square foot home. Now, there is one active that's available, and it's active, just got listed actually for 889.
All right, Tony, you want to pause that real quick?
Okay. 575, 41. Done.
Awesome. That is great. What I'll ask you to do is take that same video, share it in the group, just to give people some ideas. You can go, there's a little link on the end of that that says share as social, share it in the Facebook Insider group. But I love it. I love what you did. I think that's awesome. And again, there's no one way to do this, guys. The beauty is you can do it like Tony and do 4 to 5 minutes. You can do it yourself, keep it under a minute or two. I think you got to find your groove. You got to find a way that presents that value, right? And that experience you want to set for them. So as long as it's an authentic, genuine way of showing them their true market value and how you're going to get it to them, that's all you can do. And then everything comes down to then setting the appointment. Ole, what's up?
I noticed when Tony was doing his screen share, his little screen was nice and round. I can only figure out it comes out square in mine. How do you get it to make it nice and round?
Ole, you know what? I'm in reverse. I wanted to do it in square.
It's the
I don't know
difference
how to
between a
do
Mac
it.
and a PC.
Yeah, probably.
There's no rhyme or reason to why it happens. I have 2 MacBooks, and on one of my MacBooks, it comes out as a square, and on my other MacBook, it comes out as a circle. So, and I've
that's
tried switching
weird.
it between the both, and I'm like, I don't have the time to figure this out. Square or
Bomb
circle,
says
you're gonna
the
get whatever
circle is
MacBook I'm on.
Just thought it was an option of some sort.
No.
There's no option. I've searched for it
Okay.
high and low. It just
Yeah.
seems dependent on user. I think they're rolling out and they're just like, some people will get the round one, some people get the square, and then eventually. So
Sounds like the roulette wheel.
exactly. Who gets the square?
Red, black, red, black.
You guys, at the end of the day, what you got to realize is the immediate response that they get, whether you're running a buyer ad, a seller ad, a listing ad, a 12 tips ad, sets the tone and creates the experience you want them to have. So it doesn't matter what ad we're talking about. Truly, as soon as they get back to that email for the first time, or get the text from you, or you pick up the phone, I think that's why leveraging video is so massively important. Because at least if you have the video in there, now you have the conversation from the text side, from the AI side, from your follow-up side, from the voicemail that you leave. Everything is corresponding back to that original communication you want them to have and see.
Okay, speaking of that, with my custom ad campaign for buyers, how do I import a funnel to go with it from one of the other buyer ads?
You wouldn't, for the custom one, you'd have to actually add an email and add a text.
So you have to do it manually for all of that?
Yeah, so you'll build the ad, and then you'll go to edit funnels within your ad section, and then you'll add an email, add a text.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, at the end of the day, think of this like this. You're not running an ad. You're running like a conversation. You're running a link you're starting a conversation with someone. So you want to make your responses conversational in nature. Like ask a quick question. You're just trying to generate that. So somebody was asking like, does everyone put them on HomeBot right away? And Jeff was jumping in there too, and saying that the method that a lot of people do is they try to start a conversation first. Because what if I'm one of those transactional people that I just happened to click on your ad right in the right moment and I'm ready for an appointment, and you just threw me on HomeBot, but you didn't try to create a conversation first. So send that CMA that's short and quick, that offers you to come over and look and get more value. And then if the person doesn't bite or doesn't start a conversation, or the conversation is really light and they just say thank you, then the HomeBot is your nurture and your follow-up and your value after that. So a lot of people will try to generate the conversation first with a quick little personal CMA, just like Tony showed, zooming into the address, see if you can create the conversation. Then if you can't, then like I know Wendy, it's like on day 7, she's like, hey, I got this awesome program called HomeBot. Here's what it is. Check it out, and then put them on HomeBot, so you can continue to drip on them.
Yeah, and I think the key word there is personal. Is if you respond to them immediately with a video CMA that's personalized for them, I think it grabs a little bit more attention and certainly starts to develop a relationship quicker than sending them a templated HomeBot.
And whether you hear from them or not, you now have made an impression that increases the opens on everything else you send. So your automations are going to get seen more because they're like, hey, that's the guy. Like I still remember a bank in our area like months ago that had just opened. No, it was months ago. It was years ago that had just opened, and they were standing outside one of the coffee shops and handing out coffee cards, like $10 coffee cards to everybody that came in. And I was like, that's a really innovative marketing strategy. I was always aware of the bank across the road and all of their advertising after that. So if you make it personable, you kind of etch yourself into their brain so that the automations that you're sending them, they might not be telling you, but they're opening them because they remember you. They're looking at them. They're seeing you on Facebook. They're seeing your ad pop up. If they're driving around town, you have any other advertisement, they're now noticing it. It's like when you go shopping for a car, all of a sudden you notice all of the same cars. Everyone owns that car. So it's the same thing, like make it personable, make an impression, and then your automations that go out are going to be opened more.
That's well said, Ira. Mindshare. You're trying to create mindshare, right? If you have an ad, number one, the ad is interrupting their feed. They have no clue there's a human behind it. There's no branding there of you. It's just some, generally speaking, it's an image, it's a map, whatever it is. So they click through, they submit their information. Your mindshare begins the moment they go to their inbox. Your mindshare begins as your continued automations, your personal follow-up goes out. That's where you're trying to create connection, that know, like, trust model we always talk about. And it's only going to happen if that person feels like there is a connection. How do you do that? Body language and tonality. Where do you get that from? Video. Consistent video, right? It's just not a one-off. I hope they got it. Maybe they won't. Maybe they will. That's the key, is you can't just let your automations do their thing. You got to be persistent and consistent about making sure they're watching it, receiving it. So I'd much rather you guys focus so much more on, if you have to, pick an ad spend where you're only getting a lead a day and just focus on giving it all to that lead. Instead of going gun-ho on getting too many leads.
Marcus, speaking on the BombBomb, how do we integrate the BombBomb into StreetText?
Well, it's quite easy if you leverage. So the way I have always taught is in your settings. If you can go a couple ways at it. You can go to your emails and do it. You can go to your automations and do it. So all emails, all automations, or you can go straight from the ad itself that you're running.
Don't you have to connect your BombBomb account first to it?
Not within StreetText. No, you just have to have the extension of BombBomb. So I'm leveraging Google Chrome, right? And so with my Google Chrome, I just I hit the BombBomb extension button up there on the top, click on videos, and so all my videos are pre-populated there, right?
Got it.
And then I go to I'm on your account, Jeff. Yep. By the way, we'll quickly highlight something, because I have a couple people on here that have been having a hard time getting any sort of lead flow on the seller side, and so they're gonna have a question for how you're doing it. Because Jeff, you're in a higher end market. I have a couple of you in Las Vegas right now are having some trouble, so we'll talk about that. So copy for email is you grab it from the little 3 dots next to your video. You go straight to the edit funnel option of your ad. And when you click on edit funnel, it takes you right into the funnel automations. And then when you go down to that first one, and this is Jeff's, he says, after registration, we are on it. He's already got it in there, right? So it would just be a copy paste from that inside. Does that make sense?
Got it. So you're taking it directly from the extension on the browser and putting it in there.
That's right. And don't forget
Perfect.
to save.
Okay.
Don't forget to save. And then, a thing that I like to do after every time I save something is I like to go back to the ads, view the link, and then submit my information in so that I can make sure it's going out and reaching my inbox.
And Marcus, you're about to cost me $7.
No, because I didn't click on your ad. I went through the link. You're funny. So you can see here, Jeff's got a different style of ad. He used the What's Your Home Really Worth funnel, but he did a custom image in Orange County. So I love that because it says, what's your Orange County home really worth? Orange County, like that's a beautiful idea. And so for you Vegas people, you got to think outside the box. We have several ideas. If your split testing isn't working on the satellite image or the terrain image or the map image, here's a couple ideas to consider to throw in that. And then you just got to test it. And you can see here, even here, he's got a $3.63 cost per click. It's naturally going to be, he's got a couple of them, $15 emails in Orange County. But you got to also remember that's because, if Jeff sells a home in Orange County, that's $30,000-$40,000 commission, where, some of you looking at, well, why don't I get a $5 email? Well, that's because you're averaging a $6,000 commission, right? This is completely different. You can't compare yourself. You're going to naturally be competing for a higher click in an area like Orange County, because you're not just advertising amongst, realtors and brokers. You're averaging or auctioning out ads amongst the entirety of Orange County.
When you're inserting that bomb video into your emails, always also make sure that it's sandwiched between the text. Otherwise, if you put it at the top, that long URL is going to pull into when they can preview it, or it's going to collapse in those 3 little buttons or dots at the bottom of the email. So just always make sure your video is sandwiched between text, like the burger.
Yes. Okay. Quick highlight. Can you guys see this? Okay. This is the contest I was talking about. So this October, coffee is on us. Why is coffee on us? Well, for every new trial you personally refer from your affiliate link, we're going to send each of you a $5 Starbucks card. So the trial gets a Starbucks card, and you get a Starbucks card. And you ever get to have digital coffee together. Plus, you get that 10% off your membership fee if they sign up. But the only caveat is if you refer someone to StreetText, they have to start an ad. That's it. They have to just launch an ad. And yeah, there you go. So lots of pumpkin lattes coming your way. For you,
Marcus, how do we get our unique affiliate link?
Oh, good question. I was just going to highlight that. All right. So, and then because I'm in your account, I'll show you how to do it, because you don't have one yet. So this is a perfect example, Jeff, on have your own affiliate link. So you go to settings, affiliates, and you see where it says this is some really generic code here, MDQZNTAZ. Well, the best thing to do is just click on that little pencil. And what I've been doing is just say with Jeff, and then I just put your name. Just like that. So when I save it, now you have this referral page and this is what you're going to share, grow with Jeff Mass. And so you just copy it, and it will look like this, Jeff. Now there's a generic video demo there. What you can make it look like, I think I have it somewhere, is this. So if you want to put your own story testimonial in there like Janky has, we can help you do that. And I think that's really more of a personal share anyways, because if you have an experience that you love to share about StreetText and you want to share it with your people, we'll just send us a video. We'll embed it in there. So you now have grow with your name, your own video story or testimonial why you love StreetText, and you share that out. And, you know, you're going to have a free coffee every day. And they are too. And they get aligned with your coach too, which is nice, right? So you get that consistency of knowing that they're going to have the same style of onboarding. Any questions on that? Just a nice little contest. So whoever gets, you know, we might do something even more fun than just coffee. So if there's a winner on that October contest, you're going to have something awesome too at the end. John, we got to figure out what that is.
Where do we send the custom video to that we want to upload it into that?
Just send it to, where should I send it to, Shay? Are you there?
Yeah, just connect with your coach, and then our team will help you get that.
Yeah, just connect with your coach. Send it to us. Whether you send it as a QuickTime video, a BombBomb, or a YouTube, we'll make sure it's embedded in there. I think, you know,
my coach.
What's that?
I'm asking my coach.
There you go. You're sending it to me. You're sending it to me, Leon. So yeah, guys, there is a generic video there, but my recommendation is the very minimum. Go and change that affiliate link so it's not a big gibberish, you know, random set of characters, just like I did for Jeff. And it's just, I would change it to, it's already saying grow there, so with your name would be the easiest thing to do. And so when you share it to anybody that you think would love StreetText, they activate that trial, they launch an ad, you get a coffee, they get a coffee, begins a good conversation to catch up.
Yeah, I think that's like really good. And when you are sharing this, think of people who you think, man, this would be such a good fit for StreetText, or be good for them, because it's really for people who really have that mindset that there's more than enough for everyone, that the more you give back, the more you're going to receive, coming from that place of contribution, because it's, you know, collectively how we represent the marketplace matters, right? So I think that when you have a lot of agents working together and they got each other's back, and they're you end up, it's powerful, because all of a sudden some of the challenges like Zillow and the other, you know, potential competitive options, how do they compete against that? And so if you're looking at bringing on people, think about, okay, who's going to be a really, like, who's going to, it's just going to connect. It's going to make sense. And then of course there's there's obviously the strategic side behind it too, which is if you're looking at growing your business, or if you're looking at bringing on agents under you, or if you're looking at, attracting other people that way, that's obviously a very strategic component, because now this is a really valuable tool that you can then show people how to use and coach them on and help them understand how to grow their own business. So that becomes something powerful. And then at the end of the day, not only you get coffee, you'll get 10% of whatever they pay monthly will go against your own fee. So you could have StreetText for free.
I've had people that obviously are doing some agent recruiting, and with that, they just, before they even send them that link, they say, hey, you know, I just want to show you how awesome this program is. Send me your zip code. I'm going to send you some leads tomorrow. And so they'll just set up a quick split test within their own account based on that person. And then they'll show them how fast these leads come with a quick split test. So it's just one of those fun things you can do if you are looking to recruit people. But, you know, not everybody is, but just for some ideas. Or you can do something super awesome like Wendy and do the Las Vegas Raiders ad that gets like 50-cent phone numbers. Go Raiders, Wendy.
Go Raiders.
2-0. Awesome.
Brandon, I saw that.
So yeah, and Wendy, talking about Las Vegas And so you put a temporary pause on the seller ads for now, hey?
Yes.
And are you finding just in that area, it's just hard to get seller leads at the moment, or what's your reason?
It's just because it was so much more expensive. So I figured, I'm kind of diving into this. I did one for Raider and one for Golden Knights. And so they're bringing in quite a bit of stuff, and I don't want to not do a good job with what comes in. So
right.
I don't need 200 leads a day.
No. And so you,
I go a little crazy.
That's awesome. So, cause you've got a couple ads going on too. So you're leveraging the homes like in Henderson with pulls, homes in Vegas with pulls.
Yeah, I do like those. They bring in a lot of buyer leads, which I send to my agents. So I don't really work with those, but they just kind of set them up on pull home searches, find out a little bit more what they're looking for, critique the search, and then try to get them pre-approved in the car. So that works really well. But yeah, I've been working on these, having a lot of good conversations. Don't have a buyer in the car or a seller yet, but lots of people talking about, working on their credit, trying to get ready to buy, and I've sent them to my lender for the free credit repair that he offers. And then, one guy said he was ready to retire in a month or so. So he's going to want to sell and move out of state. Yay, my favorite. And then, not that I want people to move out of state. They're just the easiest. The buy sell people are, it's a little stressful, but still out there playing matchmaker. So
yeah, that's what I wanted to quickly add here as well. And it's so nice to hear what you're doing there, Wendy, is that, whenever we hear people, oh, I'm closing this deal, I'm closing that deal, whatever it is, it's, oh, what ad are you running? What ad are you running? It's obviously the ad that's helping you close the deals. And it's just a reminder that the ads really are here to just generate.
Good afternoon, Arturo speaking.
Right? Sorry, Arturo.
This is Sir.
Oh, 1 sec. Let's see. So yeah, that's the general idea though, is it's really important to understand that, the ads are simply there to generate the leads. It's you who's closing. It's your conversion methods. It's the fact that you're adding to your database. You have more people today than you had yesterday who are ready to talk to you. And, not every one of them is saying, hey, Wendy, come list my home. Hey, I want to buy a home through you. Let me in your car, whatever. But I mean, it's having these conversations, nurturing these individuals, letting them know that you're here to help them. And then, whether it's tomorrow, 3 months from now, next year, the more people you're talking to today, the more people who will be closing with you, down the road. So, having that mentality, keeping your foot on the gas pedal, doing what you're doing is fantastic. And just for everybody, again, try all sorts of different angles and
they're a lot nicer,
That's always fun too.
I mean, people that want to find their home value, they're nice, but sometimes if they don't get instant gratification, then they're like, I could have got my information from Zillow way faster than you. And it's just like, yeah, but
the number they're looking for, if they don't get the exact number they're looking for.
Yeah. So these people are like, we're solely going based on, I'm giving you something of value because you love this team, so they're excited and they think, wow, I'm already getting responses. Oh my God, I got it. I love it. They're taking pictures of it and posting it on the post, which gets it even more exposure, and then, they're saying, absolutely. If we know anybody that wants to buy or sell, we'll send them your way, because I kind of say that in my initial verbiage to them, and it's just like, I'm not sending this to you just so I can get your business, but that would be nice. You know what I mean?
Well, Wendy, I mean, I think the key is not many people know that you have 3 or 4 additional emails within your automations on top of the 9-month drip campaign. So for the first 12 days, they are getting to know you. There's video included in every one. You talk about your marketing. And so the key is for those people that wanted the instant market value, well, that should have been your first experience you're setting the tone with, why they are not getting the instant market value. Because when they go back to the inbox thinking they should have got the CMA right there and then and there, because they gave you email permission, you need to tell them why they're not getting it.
Right.
In a way that really resonates, makes sense, especially in this market. So that's the ticket there, is you get to create that entire experience on, hey, Zillow, Trulia, Realtor, Redfin, Movado, Google your home. Even challenge them to Google their home if you really want to. You know,
I
say
do.
Google your home right now, and I think you'll find that it's all over the board. It's 6 months behind in the algorithm. You
And
know,
sometimes $50,000 apart.
50. You know, you're not considering that there's the demand could set 50,000 to 100,000 over asking. You know, equities change, all that stuff. So you help identify that those are all just algorithms, and what you want to do is actually speak about their home personally.
Right.
I have a question for you guys, Marcus, or anybody in the StreetText team. When we're talking about emails, BombBomb is the only way we can share customized videos or personalized videos. Now, I have a lot of material to work with, a lot of videos on NO videos, just anything that's related to any information in real estate, right? That Ken has made. So I have all these videos in YouTube. Am I able to upload a YouTube video and send it out to BombBomb? Is that optional?
Yes.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah, you just download it and then upload it.
Okay, cool.
Download, upload.
All right, cool. Thank you.
Yeah, the one thing I'll address that just real quick, and that's the best way to do that would be to still send it through BombBomb. And I tell everybody who will listen to me when I say this, don't send people directly to YouTube. Any of my clients have told you this a million times. Basically, YouTube is Google, and Google is, you know, one of the highest powered algorithms known to mankind. You send your lead straight to YouTube. You're telling YouTube and Google, hey, John Smith is interested in real estate, and then Google PPC ads in that area are going to pepper that individual. So yeah, what you're doing there is sending them to YouTube, I think, is a scary proposition. Uploading your YouTube videos into a more standalone product that can act as its own, I think that was the right way to do it.
Yeah, better
Wendy,
open rate too.
So here's one for Wendy and Jeff Moss, because you guys do this, and Marcus had showed your stuff earlier. At what point in your automation that you've customized do you actually ask the person for a deal or try to engage them in something other than someone saying sell immediately? Because one of the things I've been seeing late at night when I see people posting, people are going for the jugular right away instead of letting the automation set them up to work your way in. And Wendy, I know you go like 7 days out or whatever and say, hey, are you Facebook, whatever, but at what point are you using the automation to turn around and basically try to get that appointment or try to get that connect?
Yeah, so I actually don't ask for the listing at all. I invite them to my Facebook page first. You know, I introduce myself, invite them to my Facebook page so they could get to know me. So not asking for anything on the first one. And then the second one, you know, gives them all their home value info, and then tells them in order to get a true value of your home, I'll need to see your home, see what kind of upgrades you did, renovations, whatever. And then I give a link to my calendar for them to pick a good day and time for them. So technically that's me asking for an appointment, but I'm not really saying, you know, I want to sell their house at that point. But my calendar link says I can sell your house.com or whatever it says. So I guess that's a dead giveaway. But anyway, so once I get in there, you know, when they fill out the calendar form, I have them say how much they owe, and I do all my homework and I go meet them like I'm at a full-blown listing appointment, just because I like to be ready. And but you know, sometimes it's just to see their place, but I also show them everything I do. I leave a package with them if they're not ready, but I'm ready to write a listing at that point. And then the next one, you know, so the next one is the same thing. You know, I hope you got my email, blah, blah, blah. If not, check your spam. You know, I'd love to personally see your home and answer any questions you may have. Here's my calendar link. So, I mean, I do that a couple times, but for the most part, I don't really go for the jugular.
Wendy, I think here's the thing. Talking about your follow-up is impeccable. The other day we talked with Melissa on LCA, and she sends Starbucks coffee cards, $5 to these people. So
I did that a couple times.
Yeah, and just not the ones, not every time, just the ones that you've had great conversations with. You've had some rapport. Maybe you're trying to make an impression because it's an amazing home. You really would love that listing. So that's where you maybe set aside, do some testing, throw in that little say thank you. And Wendy, you're the one that showed me that you can do that directly from the email. So that
Yes.
person, just like when you sent the video with BombBomb, you could say, hey, by the way, I just want to say thank you. Here's a coffee on me, right? Doesn't have, I mean, you could also do that in the mail, but just some ideas for you guys, especially for the leads that you're trying to make a difference with. That one small give, that gesture could be everything.
Yeah, and Marcus, to follow up with Leon's question, we don't try and close them at all, unless it's an immediate. We're more into nurturing, and we're more into providing value propositions for them, so that when they're ready, they're going to communicate with us that they're ready. And yeah, it's a little bit longer term, but by the time they circle back with you and they're ready, you've developed a relationship with them already. So you're not having to start from scratch. So I get there's 40 different ways to approach this. Ours is a little more subtle. We're not going for hard closes. We don't look at this as follow-up. We look at this as nurturing.
Linnea, go ahead if you want to mute yourself.
Okay, so I was going to kind of go off of what Jeff was saying. One thing that we do when we get the seller leads is we send out a personal note, like within the next couple of days. And the personal note is just, it kind of tags on to the first follow-up email that they get from me, which is, hey, I'm working on your home value. If there's anything specific I should know that could affect the value, just let me know. So we send them a personal note that says almost the exact same thing. And what I've noticed is now, while I haven't converted anything to a closed sale yet, I have been getting a lot more people responding to my emails. I've seen a lot more people opening my emails. And so I think that, like, really having that personal touch in there to show I'm not a robot, I'm a real person. I just want to give you what you're looking for, and just kind of leave it at that. That seems to right now be working. I have actually had 2 appointments, actual listing appointments, that have not closed yet, but I have actually had 2 appointments from them. So I just think that personal touch is super important. So if you're not trying I know a lot of people like send out like a postcard, like an actual postcard that goes to everybody, like for address only or things like that. But even for those address only ones, we're sending out a personal note, because I think like just that personal touch, their handwritten note, no one does it anymore.
No one does.
So it makes a big, big difference. So that's my little 2 cents there.
Well, think about it when you go to the mailbox every day or every other day. What's the first thing you do is you start chucking things into 2 piles. One in the garbage and recycling. The other one is what you're going to actually open one by one. And so when you open that, just like that video email, that open on the mail is just as important, because they're opening this envelope and they're seeing, well, what is this? Oh, maybe I need to go back. Oh, wow, that's a nice gesture. And all of a sudden you leave an impression that no one else does.
Well, and then then what I'll do is I'll take them and I'll retarget them on Facebook with video. So then they'll start seeing my videos. So now they've seen my name pop up like on Facebook, the little, map or whatever I'm using. They'll see me pop up in their inbox, and then they're actually seeing me on Facebook now. They've seen me in their mailbox. So they're just kind of seeing me kind of all over. So now it's like the RAS system, right? Like the reticular activator system. They're just starting to wonder, who is this person? So I think that's really important.
Yeah, and piggybacking on what Jeff said there, I had a coach once talk to me about, you're not trying to close people, you're trying to open them. Like, it's not like when you close people feel that. You're trying to open people up to conversation and value and getting to know you. So all of these touches, what you're doing is you're opening them up, because you're having the patience to see consistent effort through to grow your business across the course of a year. When you have one goal, which is to close people, you're acting transactional in nature, which means you're going to have the one-off sales that get you excited, but you're going to go on to try to close the next person and close the next person. But when you have a habit of consistency to build people, to open them up, what happens is that transforms your business across the course of 6 months and a year, when you're consistent with these habits. Because every touch that you're doing with someone, you're not looking to close them. You understand, I'm spending X amount of dollars on Facebook. I'm going to see a return on it, but I'm patient enough to wait for the return. I'm not watching the bill come in each month and going, I need to close someone this month. I'm saying this is going to be like, look at Jennifer. She's done the math. She knows that she put it in her thing. I have a 17 times return on my ROI. She's calculated it. She knows that I'm spending this much on Facebook, but for every dollar, 17 are coming back. I have to be patient enough to see that ROI. And that's the key, is we sometimes will run an ad, we're trying to close someone, it doesn't work, we get a bad response, we turn the ad off, we stop all of the behaviors that were setting us up for great success.
And to take it to a different level, Ira, and I think that's awesome insight. But I think it's important not to rely, and I know the StreetText guys will hate me for this, but it's important not to rely on StreetText as your primary source of revenue. You have to have additional sources of revenue in this business. So you seem desperate. If this is your only source of leads and of revenue, you're gonna try and close every one that you get, which again, I think we agree is probably not the right approach.
Well, one of the things you do though, I always say apply StreetText things you've learned out of here and techniques to everything you have. You know, the idea behind what we do when we sit here is all about the conversion. We're looking at ways to get engagement, get things done. And if you're not doing that across the board with everything you have, if you're running BombBomb and you're not using it for all your other clients, then you're throwing money, just buckets over the waterfall. If you're not using HomeBot for all the other stuff you have, you're throwing just money off the bridge. Just jump with a rock, tight around your neck, sink and get it over with. So the thing is, you know, like they say, it doesn't matter what you have. It's only as good as if you use it or not. So like one of the questions, the reason I'd asked earlier what I did to you, Jeff, and to Wendy is because in all honesty, like when I tell people, I go, look, you know what, StreetText does not have everything, but it has what you need to get where you're going. So for people that aren't adapting the automation to themselves, it's got to be you coming across. I love Julie. Julie gets more answers than I do. So the thing is, when you go into automation, the whole reason behind the question, Jeff and Wendy, was this: know when to ask and when not to ask. If you sit here and right off the bat, the first thing says, I'm coming to list your house, they're going to tune you out. So the bottom line is look at where you're at. And, you know, everybody's a different personality. So not just your personality, but the clients. Not all clients are the same. So you've got to look at the engagement. And when people aren't talking back to you and you go, look, and they came in StreetText at 2 a.m. I'm not staying up till 2 a.m., but I know the time frames they're operating on. So that I will send them, you know, if they're in there a couple of days, why not take Gmail or whatever? I can time the send to go out knowing when they're looking at things. But, you know, you have tools, use them wisely. And like I said, the hungry mouth, you don't get fed if you don't ask. So you just, you know, there's things you have to do and know what to do. And this is the time of year right now to be jumping on people, because if you don't do it now, come December, underneath your tree is going to look pretty bare. And I would rather turn around and close my year out strong. And what doesn't close in December looks good in January because the checks still show up. So it's one of those things where, like I said, I do get a lot of people hitting me up, and you know, I give my time freely. If I'm in a car driving, call me, I don't care. But, you know, it's just a lot of the things I see in the group are people that'll ask in there and not ask in here. So that's why at times when I just chirp up and go, hey, I got a question for you. This is why. These are the things I see in the group. And I say this to all the members, just straight out. If there's something you want to know, I do see people complain about can't get a hold of a coach, this, that, whatever. And that happens. But ask, make an appointment, do something. If I say, well, you haven't got a hold of a coach, did you send them a request to talk to them? Well, no. That's what that Calendly link is for that they've got. Ask them. I mean, you know, if you don't ask, it don't happen. And at that point, at the end of the day, look in the mirror, blame yourself, because the people on the other end don't have telepathy powers to, you know you want to talk to Logan or want to talk to Ira or want to talk to Marcus. I send stuff to Jonathan and Steven all the time at night. They answer. So don't limit yourself. Just ask.
They're gonna love that, Leon.
This is so good. So this we got to be careful what we say on this, but no, this is so good. So I'm doing 75 hard right now. I know Marcus is doing it, Steve's doing it. 75 hard is the 75-day challenge, where for 75 days you have to work out twice every day, 3 hours apart. One of the workouts has to be outdoors. You've got to drink 4 liters of water a day, which is more than you would think. You got to be on some sort of diet. You got to read 10 pages of book. It's this weird challenge. And when I got invited to start this, my schedule was super busy. I'm middle of a renovation. I got 2 kids under 5. We've got the business, like it's just a lot of stuff. And the thought of adding 75 hard onto the day to day, it's at first I was like, okay, well, I don't know. This seems ambitious. But what I've noticed is that it has a transformative effect for the rest of your business. It has a transformative effect for everything else that you're doing. And that's kind of like what I think is happening with StreetText, with the masterminds, with everything else. You say, yeah, okay, I want to do X number of additional deals a year, just to Jeff's point. You want to come from a place where you have that abundance, that gratitude heart, where it's like, I'm here to serve, but I'm actually here to serve. Wendy, you said it earlier today, and I was like, it was absolutely perfect, which is, I'm not doing this to get a deal, but absolutely, like if there's, somebody working, I'm going to appreciate it if you send them my way. But that's not my heart. It's not my motive, so I'm doing this for you, but I'm open for business. And so when you come from that sort of place, when you open up the conversations, everything else transforms. The rest of the business transforms, all your marketing transforms. So it's kind of like, it's skills sharpening. That's what it is. And you'll notice that your automations, what you're doing elsewhere, will get better. Your BombBomb videos are going to impact the rest of what you do. Your postcard marketing is going to affect your entire database. When you're running Facebook ads, you're not just going to get the people that see your ads, that click on your ads. You're getting everybody else that you're talking to outside of your in other areas of life, seeing those ads, reinforcing your brand. It just builds on and it magnifies everything else you're doing. It's that additional side. So I talked about 75 hard as like an analogy, but it's just like that. It's choosing to say, you know what, I accept this challenge, and I'm going to use this challenge to grow my capacity and grow everything else I do. And my mindset, it's even helping me with my girls, because like part of my workouts is integration. I'm actually taking my 2-year-old, and she sits on my shoulders, and we go for hikes. And it's like, I get the extra workout, and she loves it. She loves it. Now I do that with my 5-year-old too, when she's not in kindergarten. But
Jonathan, you have 2. I have double that. I have 4.
You have 4. So and Marcus is really like, hats off.
Well, like, no, not even. It's just Jackson, my action Jackson. He's 2, and he's like finding that 4 a.m. and 5 a.m. is his new wake up. So, talk about trying to get through that morning and set aside that time. It's just the key. Is like, we all have our excuses, right? Like, we all have our seasons of life. It's basically, do you want it bad enough? And those type of things will change you. It's the mental change more than anything. It's the ability to grow and say you can do anything and everything. So I agree with you. Those type of challenges just made me that much more able to do everything in life, because I have no excuse. You got to make the time for it no matter what. But I wanted to highlight off of Leon, the free 99, guys, is the big part that you guys always neglect. And the key is because we're so automated in what we think we're doing. If you get a phone number, one of the best things you can do is disrupt that pattern that, okay, Julie's going to go out and send text for you, but why are you not simply just pulling out your phone and sending a video text? Video can be sent through Android. Video can be sent through iMessage, through your iPhone. No one's expecting it. Keep it sweet, keep it short, send it to them. You can start realizing that it can point back to what the video email that you already have in there. But it's consistency around that type of communication. Also, if you look at the way even Wendy has in her day 12 of her StreetText automation, and essentially you can start that as the very first email she has too, is she puts her personal link to her Facebook profile. And now, if you look at Wendy's Facebook profile, it's a perfect combination of who she is, what she loves to do, fun posts about her friends or family, the nights that they're having, and her real estate business. But that's where they're going to get to know you first. Whether you know it or not, they're probably going to go and search for you on social and find out a little bit about you and see if you're somebody they'd actually connect with in the first place. So remember, you interrupted their Facebook newsfeed with an ad from your business page, but it was in their personal Facebook feed. Hence why, even when you guys started with StreetText, we all encouraged you to create a relationship with us on Facebook, because we knew that was important, not only to get you into the group, but so you had someone that you can connect with and feel like you can trust. And that's the same thing that you're going to be doing there. That's why it's so massively important to begin to try to create a relationship right where it began. If you can leverage your personal Facebook to do that, I think you'll find that relationship will start that much easier and faster for you. Just try it. Video texting, video messaging, connect as often as possible. Let them know they can connect with you on Facebook. And then you can start even trying the messenger link as well there.
That video texting tip from, was it 3 weeks ago through Mastermind Tony shared? Like that was game changing. Just going after the people who've been in your home value, drips pipeline for a while, who maybe you can see their activities high, just sending a personal video text to them. It's just really simple. And he said it got him, what was it? How many? It was like 4 out of 8 appointments.
It's just so different, right? It's just so different. No one, I don't remember the last, like every time someone sends me a video text, I'm shocked. And here's someone, I use video text all the time, but I'm shocked when someone sends it to me because it's just so not natural. So you're always got to imagine yourself, you're trying to compete against every other advertiser and realtor on that space. So you're really, everybody's like focusing so much on their cost per lead and cost, ad spend and split testing and A/B testing, but really it's the follow-up that's going to make you different. So whether you're spending $20 for an email or $2, it's irrelevant if you can't get that person's attention and create a conversation. Because your ROI will naturally come, but what I would encourage you to do is try to be unique and different in your follow-up delivery and genuine in the way that connects with that person, and be fun, have personality. Like, so even if you're going to be doing video, which I hope you are into the future, because this is the age we're living in, why not invest in like a Logitech 4K camera to put in your, why not invest in this mono mic to connect? This is what the guys did for me. If you're going to be doing video, do it right. Have the right lighting, get a circle light, have the right backdrop. That's your impression now. So you can do it from your phone, you can do it any way you like, but in general, if they can't see you, if it feels off, you're in a dark room. We had, unfortunately, we had some people that used to do things in their bedroom. It was dark, the lights, the camera. That's going to be what they're going to experience of you. So that's the key, is start shifting and changing your environment so when they see you for the first time, it is exactly how you would want to be approached.
Well, and there's nowhere you go nowadays that you do not hear everybody still saying video's a game changer. You look at the statistics for how many agents, and since this is just real estate we're talking here, how many real estate folks are not using video? It's still like high 70s, low 80s, some crazy thing like that. And if I always say before, you don't have to be the person in front of the camera, you can be the person behind it. I love it when I see somebody said, hey, it took me 23 attempts, but I got it. That's my hero for the day, because that told me you had the effort to go get it done. And if you need to sit there, I'll be out somewhere and hand one of my kids something, say, hey, do this video real quick. Just like when I'm driving, tell them, hey, take this text, make a quick video, make a canned one. If you're gonna make a canned video, just reach out and just say, hey, it's Curtis. I just want to reach out and say, hey, how you doing? I got your thing. Boom, it's canned one. Send it out. You're gonna get an open, you get a response. The only crime is to do nothing at all.
And change it up from time to time. Like I remember, Wendy, what I loved was during Christmas time, you're sitting with the video near the Christmas tree. Change it up seasonally. We're coming up on October. It's Halloween, right? November, Thanksgiving. All that stuff is just to be seasonal. Change it up. Don't be the same canned auto response every single time and it feels generic. You want to change these things up from time to time.
Yeah, and I use video for like everything. So when I get a buyer into contract, they get a video from me about next steps. And then once we get past home inspection and appraisal, then they get another video about closing, the closing process. So, and those are canned, but they love it because they're just like, oh, and then I have to remind people not to go buy cars and, shop, with their credit, and don't quit their job and don't change jobs and don't deposit cash into their account. So, I mean, like, these are things that everybody tells them, several times. But then they see it in a video again, and hopefully it sinks in a little bit more. But yeah, they love the whole, they really think I made it for them. So
Well, and Marcus had one this is hilarious when I say take a little bit. I turn around, I've been doing my 12 tips videos put together. I've got 3 different shirts. I'm not making all the videos with one. And I also, the one going out in the car, sitting in the car to make a video. So when
you
I'm
do
going
your hair
somewhere
different?
driving, I'll make the video in the car. You're showing activity, you're showing movement, it catches their eye, you're doing something. So it's like, it's easy to be creative. It doesn't cost you nothing. Like I said, the greatest expense is your time. But when you look at what you benefit from that expense of your time, how can it not be worth it?
Right. Setting up my funnel, same thing. I changed outfits, I redid my hair. I mean, I'm sure Leon has that struggle.
Well, and it just shows what makes StreetText different and unique than any other lead generation solution. It's this mastermind in itself. If this mastermind wasn't here, really, like it would be hard to define the value of this program because the collaboration, the community, everyone coming together, discussing, sharing, this is what makes it so special. And this is also what I believe keeps people here, right? Because so I mean, I say that we all are looking for our tribe, and so are your leads. They're looking for their tribe. So essentially you have to lead them and facilitate to them to that place of, you know, it's that servant value. You know, they're gonna slowly get to learn that you're different and unique than any other agent trying to get their business. But that only happens as you know, like Troy was saying, it's that first impression. That's your first date. That's your first opportunity to present yourself in such a way where you're coming from giving, no, you know, complimentary, free, no obligation. This is why I'm doing it this way for you.
Marcus, quick question for you.
Yeah.
Love the mastermind. Absolutely fantastic. What do you think about adding something to it where you start doing a topic-driven mastermind, like how to use automation, how to use video, where we could collaborate and share on one specific topic at a time and dive in deeper and have it recorded for review for the future?
Great idea. And I think we can add that to the mastermind, or we can even do that separately as another time.
I agree.
Yeah.
What I would love to see is people start submitting topics that they would like to see, and then we could schedule that.
Yeah, I like that. So start submitting the topics that you'd like to see, and we'll schedule it out.
We're already kind of trying to do that as is. Internally, we always try to have a topic at hand that we're going to address and you know, unpeel the onion, so to speak. But again, it's much like, you know, what we've been doing with the custom ads and stuff. It's nice to hear and know what are people looking for? What do you guys need the help with? Because again, these masterminds, they're not for us. They're absolutely for everybody else. They're for you guys. So we want to facilitate and help in any way that we can. It's the same hour and a half, whatever we want to do every Wednesday. That's great. We've all time blocked for that. I mean, we can talk about whatever, you know, the majority of the people want to talk about. So absolutely. I think that's fantastic. If you guys want to put it in the insider group, send it to your coach, however you want to get your, you know, preferred topics in, we can, you know, discuss internally and decide, you know, which is the best topic to start with, whether it's a one-off or, you know, we can take certain suggestions and run them all together and have that as, you know, one meeting. But absolutely, that's what we've been trying to do anyways. So please do, yeah, provide us with all the information, everything that you guys are looking for in terms of, hey, I could use more help with this, or hey, I'm doing great with this and I'd love to help the group with whatever. Absolutely. That's exactly what this is for.
Shay said, if that's what you guys want to see, let's do it. So Shay will make it happen. And Shay, what I'll ask you to do too, since we talked about the contest, is we'll grab that contest and throw it into the group and show people quickly how to change and edit their affiliate link to make it more personalized, and show them how to put in their own video if they want to do a video testimonial there as well. All right. Hey, that was awesome. Any last minute questions, comments, anything that we can help you with? All right. Like every mastermind, we're going to ask you, what's the one thing you're going to take away from today? Tell us now. You can put in this.
Marcus, my number one is how to do the ad funnel, to go in and do that myself.
Perfect. Who else? What's one thing you're going to do today? You got it? You can keep it in your mind, or you can share it in the chat feature, or you can just unmute yourself and tell us what you're going to do. How many of you actually started setting up the ad that Wendy did from last week with your team, your football team? I'd be curious to see results. Remember, if you hadn't seen that mastermind, you don't know what we're talking about, but anybody who's got a major sports team in their area should consider what Wendy did. It's pulling like 50-cent full submissions.
Yeah, I'm ordering magnets this week.
Yeah, it's doing.
Where can we find that ad that Wendy did?
I believe it's in the announcement section, but just type in Wendy in the search feature and you'll probably see it. It's really popular.
I'm a search feature.
In the search feature.
It's Magnets
Tony,
USA.
I don't have to type in the word Raiders.
Oh, you better, Campbell, because we're gonna be Super Bowl champions this year. I'm expecting.
Are they gonna be better than my Falcons? You can be sure of that.
Hey, Derek Carr, top 3 quarterbacks in the NFL. No one knows it.
Hey, I hear all this Raider talk, but none of you have a real helmet in your office like I do. I mean, can you see it there?
I almost wore my jersey today. Next time I will.
Yeah, we should all wear Raider stuff next week.
Next week we will, because they'll be 3-0 after they beat the Dolphins.
That's right.
Not a chance. I'll be banning people's videos left and right. Be like, nope, nope, nope.
I'm open to a Rams Raiders Super Bowl. It's okay with me.
Okay, we can do that. All right, guys, have a great day. Thanks for attending the mastermind. If there's anything that you want to follow up with, reach out to your coach or post it in the insider group.
Thank you all. Appreciate you.
See ya.
Thank you, everyone.